Good morning, all you Elisa Maria Design subscribers. I'm Elisa Maria. I'm the curator of this channel. And let me just show you what is going on today. We are diamond painting today, but I got news. Boy, do I got news. So I am going to get myself ready to diamond paint. But I wanted to show you guys that, I just got done with a big cup of coffee and chocolate. So that was my breakfast. So God only knows where this video is going to take us after this nutritious breakfast, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. And so give me a minute to set up my desk. Okay, my loves, I am back and I have my work on my desk. The chocolate and the coffee have been put away. I'm lighting a little incense right now from my Jesus candle here that I have lit, and I got a story to tell you. I'm gonna put my incense in here. First things first, what do I want to show you? Yesterday, if you watched my Dollar Tree score that I did, I came home with this crafter square, and this took me about an hour to do, and it really came out cute. So I wanted to show you guys that first. Look at how cute that is. Look at it. It is so cute. It did have yellow drills because they were supposed to be pink and red and yellow flowers. But, I opted to keep the yellow flowers out because on the bottom, these are petals and they had they're like pink and red and yellow. So maybe it was like a multicolored rose and not 3 separate roses, but I opted to just do my own design here. For $1.25 with some supervision, I would do this with children. So I mean with, first graders, I would say, yeah, I would do this with them because they're just self-sticking. You just peel the plastic off. I peeled it off. The glue is only where you see the drills. This was so cute for $1.25. I gave it to my husband as part of our little Valentine exchange that we had. And I love it. These look like real pearls. They're so cute. So I did that. I want to show you guys where I am with Rico because I have been doing some work with him. From the last whip and chat. And so here is how far I have gotten. I love the flower. I love the way this flower is coming out. It's so beautiful. There's a lot of the ABs in here, 2 different colors of ABs in here. I'm on this section here now, and there are some pink ABs that are coming into Rico, coming into him. On his chest, it's going to be the white and the pink ABs that come into view there. But I'm just, doing these 10 by 10 squares. They're coming along. Let me do this way maybe. Here we go. I'm doing these 10 by 10 squares and they're coming along very nicely, very quickly. I've been having a lot of fun. I'm really curious about this section because this is the border and I love this. I don't really have a lot of diamond paintings that have gold in them, and I'm loving the gold and the blue, and I'm loving the way that he is starting to come together. So we're in this section here today. What the heck happened here? Okay. And do I have a cover minder that I can use? I have some of my old diamond pens out also that I am, maybe I'll use this little guy since I'm not using my black pen. I'll use this guy, this pink guy here, a small one. Oh, that incense smells so good. The incense that I have is an oldie from Japan. From when I was teaching. Oh yeah, that's cute. I think this came in a diamond art club. And so I have switched off from caffeine to tea, mint tea, herbal tea, which I I was doing a little bit of writing this morning, as I do every morning, as those of you who follow me on, the artist way. You know that I'm a journaler, and you know that I write every morning. I write my morning pages. And yesterday, not that this was any sort of joke or anything like that, but you know, I have candles all over my home. I like candles. I love candles. And I saw these long candles that reminded me of my dad. My dad's anniversary is coming up. It'll be 4 years that he passed in March. And today is John's mother's anniversary. She passed away 3 years already. It's 3 years. And when John, he ran to we have a Dunkin' Donuts on the corner, so he ran to go get coffee this morning, and he was like, are you getting up with me? And like, as much as I wanted to, and I did enjoy my Valentine's Day yesterday, February 15th is the first time that my husband told me that he loved me. So it's the anniversary. We were actually on our way to we were meeting friends, and we were taking a cab, and he said to me, Elisa, he was sitting next to me, and I really did not know the way that he felt about me. We were friends, and so he looked at me and he said, Elisa, and I said, yeah. He went, I love you. And I said, yeah, I know. I was thinking like he meant I love you as like a friend, but he was getting bigger feelings for me than that. And so that is the anniversary of him telling me that he loved me. And February 15th, when we finally got ourselves together, and we started to date. And I knew John's mom, but I didn't know her. And it's really funny because my husband would say my mom was so tough that grown men would part paths for her when she walked down the street like the Red Sea, because they were afraid of her. Oh gosh, but she was so much fun, Rita. She was just so much fun. And so February 15th, I lived with John and his mom, and helped him take care of her, and she died in our arms. And she died February 15th. But she used to say to me when we were dating, are you really going to marry him? Are you really going to marry him? I'm like, yes, I'm really going to marry him. And she's like, are you sure? Because like all you do is laugh. And I'm like, well, your son's a funny guy. He is funny. And I don't know. I think out of her 4 children, Johnny is the one that she worried about the most, because, she used to say to him, when are you going to get married? My husband didn't get married till he was 57. He thought he was going to be, confirmed bachelor. And then, he says it to me, like, I can't believe I married Elisa, that I went to school with, and that I thought was the most beautiful girl in the world. He's sweet. It's so funny because my husband knows that I'm Elizabeth Taylor fanatic. I love Elizabeth Taylor. And, my husband's in love, so I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but my husband was saying to me, I think you're more beautiful than Elizabeth Taylor. He says it all the time. And I'm like, oh, stop it. But he'll say, oh, you're more beautiful than Elizabeth Taylor. So we went to a wake. It was his best friend's mother. And we were sitting with her girlfriends who were scream. They were, these are women that partied in the 80s, and I don't even know how the conversation came up about Elizabeth Taylor. Oh, one of her friends travels, and they traveled to where Elizabeth Taylor, I don't even know where the heck they were, Mexico, where Elizabeth Taylor had her home, and the husband was saying we stayed in Elizabeth Taylor's villa, or not, they didn't stay, they went to go visit. And he's like, when Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton were having their affair, they were both married. I believe they were both married. And Richard Burton built a bridge from Elizabeth Taylor's villa to his villa so that they can see each other, because he was married to Sybil at the time, I believe her name was. And my husband said, "Oh, do you have any pictures? Because my wife loves Elizabeth Taylor." And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "In fact, a lot of her original pictures are still in the villa." And they're like pictures like they're not to the public. So there was this beautiful picture of Elizabeth Taylor, and the wife goes, "Wasn't she gorgeous? She's beautiful." I'm like, I mean, Elizabeth Taylor is known for her beauty, but there were so many things that I loved about Elizabeth Taylor. I loved her grace. I loved that she unabashedly wore this jewelry that was made for a queen and didn't apologize for it, but she always wore, the gentleman who dressed her said he would take jewelry out for her when she had to go somewhere, and she always chose the bracelets that Richard Burton gave her, which were these bands of gold with coins hanging. And QVC actually had an Elizabeth Taylor line. That was one of the things that they duplicated, and I bought them. I bought 2 sets of them. I wear them on both arms. And I was telling that story, and my husband was just like, "My wife just adores Elizabeth Taylor so much that I asked her to marry me on February 27th, which is her birthday." And one of her girlfriends says, "Oh, that's beautiful." It's one. He's like, "My wife." He's like, I think that she's more beautiful than Elizabeth Taylor." And this woman looks dead at me. This is what I love about South Philly. And she goes, "You're pretty and all, but you're no Elizabeth Taylor." And I literally just fell out. I'm like, "Thank you." Because I know I'm not an Elizabeth Taylor, but my husband thinks I am. He's like, "Well, I think she is." He got mad and he got up and walked away. Oh my gosh. You gotta love South Philly women. You just gotta love them. We're all like the Sophias of the world, the Golden Girls. We just tell it like it is. She's like, "You're pretty and all, but you're no Elizabeth Taylor." I just fell out. So I don't know how I got on this tangent. I don't know. It's the chocolate and the coffee. I can't be held responsible for anything that I'm saying. I'm going to have to go back and watch this and be like, "What the hell were you talking about?" But I wanted to tell you guys, okay? I'm going to start here. An affirmation that I've had in my entire life from when I was little. Kids sometimes get accused of lying. And that would always be like, I would just hold steadfast. If you asked me something as a child, I told the truth. I believed that whole, I cannot tell a lie. You know what I mean? But as I got older, I learned that the truth loved me. And that's something that I was saying from when I was a little girl. The truth loves me, and that's why I always tell the truth. Because I had this sense, I didn't understand it because I was too young, but I had this sense of the truth always finding me, the truth always coming to me. I didn't worry if anybody thought I was telling the truth or not, because I knew the truth would reveal itself and I would be right. I would be vindicated, or I would be validated. So that's something that I have always said as a little girl. The truth loves me and the truth finds me. And another affirmation that I have always said, and maybe because I've understood it a little bit more than The Secret, and I did a self-care Sunday on this, and it was about the laws of the universe. The law of the universe isn't just, manifestation. There were 12 laws to the universe, and they all are like a ladder. You know, like you go on the first rung, the second rung, the third rung. You don't start somewhere in the middle and think that you're going to just say, I want this, without understanding the other rungs, the foundation that it supports itself on. And so I would always say, I manifest the things that I want very quickly, because I realized that I did. And so I just kept that affirmation with me. And so yesterday I was in the dollar store, and what started out as just picking, well, I went to the dollar store to find the diamond paintings that I saw Megan Diamond Painting doing from the dollar. She does a lot of dollar store hauls. It's what I like about her channel. She doesn't just diamond paint. She does a lot on a budget, you know, which I try to bring out in my videos also. Like, we have these great diamond painting pens and diamond painting trays and waxes and putties, but, and I should say this more, you don't need all these things to diamond paint. Like yesterday, I diamond painted with a little green tray. I gotta tell you, from the diamond store. Okay, here we go. From the dollar store. This came with my little diamond painting that I just showed you. This little tray, this little pen, and let me tell you, it had a nice fat chunky piece of red wax that I'm still using and that I loaded my pens up with, because this wax, you could tell I only used a little bit of it. I mean, there's like, not counting today, I may have only loaded my pen 2 or 3 times. And that's all you need. You don't need, I mean, of course, when you get bigger diamond paintings like this, you might want a bigger tray, but it's not necessary is what I'm saying. And where was I going with this? What I liked about Megan's channel is that, you know, she diamond paints on a budget. She has a lot of things from the dollar store that she uses to do storage, and she's not, different waxes that she likes to diamond paint with, and how she organizes her workstation. And you guys, if you've been with me, you know that I like to really know someone's process. I like peeking into creators' workplaces, right? There's a book by Somerset. There's a magazine, I believe. It's a magazine. I think it comes out quarterly, by Somerset Studios, and it's called Where Women Create. And I love it because it shows you workspaces. It shows you, you know, how people set up to work. And that's, you know, again, what I like about Megan sharing, you know, how these finds that she has and how she organizes her stuff. And so I went out and got that diamond painting, and I did that diamond painting, but I also got other I then found rubber stamps. I like Crafter Squares, you know, clear rubber stamps that you just put on an acrylic block. And from there, I was remembering in my mind, like, this is an artist date. I just took myself out on an artist date. And so if you're following me on the Artist Way, we do morning pages. We write every morning, like I just told you, and we take ourselves out on an artist date where we just go out with ourselves and no one else, and we indulge in some kind of creative activity. And one of the creative activities that Julia Cameron talks about is going to a dollar store and buying yourself a few items to make some art. And so I started to get into the swing of that stuff. I bought myself crayons. I bought myself this big juicy fat crayon that I love, that I colored with, you know, this morning as I was doodling and stuff. And I bought myself this candle. Now, I'm going to give you a little peek of my workstation. There's my dad, right? And that's my great-grandmother. And that's her daughter, my grandmother. And that's my grandmother's, this is my grandmother's green card. It's actually in there, the original. And so when I was walking around the dollar store, I saw these candles that my dad would light all the time. Right? And so if you've been following me, you know that I've been having a problem getting my authorization for medication, because this woman is just like, you know, She doesn't want to, I don't know. She's overwhelmed. I don't know what it is. So I came home and before I lit this candle, I wrote my intentions on it. Pray for Tina. I'm like, this girl's got me praying for her because I can't call this office anymore. Help me, Dr. Drew. And I put other intentions on the other side, the doctor's office. I don't want to put the name out there. So I light the candle with my intent. I wrote it right all over it. The intentions. Pray for me. Pray for Tina. Don't get mad at her. Maybe she's overwhelmed, overworked. We don't know. Pray that she's not doing this intentionally and just ignoring, me or that she's like late, all the negative things that you want to think about a person because it's not moving fast enough for you. It'll move when Jesus is ready for it to move. So I light my candle and my son comes over with the chocolate for me. And he glances over at this letter that I wrote because I was going to actually drop it off at the office. And I'm like, I can't call this woman anymore. I'm just going to write a letter to my Dr. Drew and be like, hey, thank you for writing that prescription for me. But are you aware that I'm not on it because I can't get your girl to call me back or to even get the prior authorization to my insurance company? I don't think that you are aware that I don't have this going into the insurance company, and I want to make you aware. And so my son sees this and he's like, what's this letter? And I'm like, please, boundaries, I know that you just kind of walked in and my stuff is everywhere around, but, little respect here. It's personal information. And he's like, well, I didn't read it. I noticed the doctor's office on the top. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He's like, well, you just started with this doctor's office. Like, you're already having a problem. My son has, for his ringtone for me, the theme from Survivor. He's like, my mother has no patience. When she's done with you, you're out. And so he has the theme of Survivor. He's like, do I have to play the theme? Do I have to play your ringtone? Or are you getting rid of the doctor's office already? You just started there. And I said, no, but I did buy a Jesus candle today to pray for this woman because that works there because she's driving me crazy. She's not answering my phone calls. He's like, well, what's the girl's name? I'm like, what's with all the questions? He's like, well, what's her name? And we're kind of looking at each other. We're getting like a stare down, like who's going to blink first? Because I don't know why. My son don't take this much. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really, like, why are you interested? And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, I asked you first. I'm like, well, why do you want to know what this girl's name is? Tell me. Because his friend's wife is, she's a medic. And so I thought maybe he knew something. So I said, well, her name is Tina. And he's like, oh, all right. I'm like, well, why? He's like, well, all right, hold on a minute. I see him dialing the phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, tell me what you're, like, this is my private business. What are you doing? So he's like, well, I just met this girl and that's where she works. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, she was hired to, like, clean up this office. I went, are you kidding me? He's like, no, they got problems over there. People not calling people back. And because I said it in my video, I really like this office. I like the person that I'm seeing. I like him. I like his brother. I like his dad. But, you know, you're only as good as your worst employee. And I guess maybe God, Jesus heard me because my son came here. Like, Jesus was ready, Valentine's Day. My son came here. He gets the girl on the phone. She's like, what's your mom look like? Because I know everybody that comes in the office. And I was like, don't go sending this girl my picture. Like, I'm like, oh, shingad today. So I start talking to her, and I'm like, I said, wait a minute. I know who you are. I was just in there the other day. She's like, I don't recognize your name. I said, yeah, I came in, and the girl that I'm having the problem with, but I was there to see the doctor, came in and called you Smiley. She's like, I know who you are. Oh my God, tell me what's happening. So I told her. So, you know, I'm just saying that me and this girl talked for 15 minutes, and I told her what I've been going through, and she's like, it's not just you, it's everybody. She doesn't answer anybody back. I said, do you know that my insurance company called for 40 days straight trying to get this authorization? No, they didn't. I'm like, yes, they did. And then she lied to my husband when he went there and told my husband that the insurance company had denied me, and they didn't. So I'm going to go down there with this letter, and I'm going to give it to this little girl because I trust her. And she's going to give it to my doctor, and I am declaring that, you know, I'm going to get some movement here. But I'm like, oh my God, like how fast did all this come into action? And it just, you know, this morning I was thinking about, you know, John, and we were talking about his mom, and I was talking about my dad, and then John left, and like I held it together until he left. But when he left, you know, I just start crying because, you know, it just moved so quickly, like meeting his mom and her and I getting, you know, we were best buddies. Like we were, my husband used to call us. We weren't even married yet, me and John. He was like, what are you two up to? You are like, you know, partners in crime. What he is up to? And he would always say like how much his mother loved me. I'm like, I love your mother. She's great. And what really was upsetting with Rita was that she wasn't ready. Like her body just gave out, and it's just like she had so much life into her. She was 90 years old, and she was so much fun. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how much I missed her, and how like we would like she would say to me, she could never remember my name, Elisa. She would say Alyssa, Alicia, and John would say Elisa, Mom, Lisa with an E in front of it. Yeah, okay, whatever your name is, she would say. So her way of remembering my name, she used to call me Robert E. Lisa instead of Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lisa. What are we snacking on tonight? And she got me, you know, 20 pounds heavier with the Cheetos every night. I want them orange sticks, the ones that turn my fingers orange. I'm like, okay, Cheetos. Don't get me the puffed ones. Don't get me any other ones. I don't care what other ones that they make. Get me, I want the original ones. And so that's what we would eat, her and I. We would watch old movies. We would watch game shows. She would tell me stories. And so I was thinking about all that today, about how fast it all went. And like it's already coming up on 3 years, and my dad's coming up on 4. And then like I was sitting in the chair behind me, and so I was looking at the pictures that I just showed you, and I'm looking at my grandmother, who I was very close to, and I'm looking at my great-grandmother, who I also remember. I remember my great-grandmother going to see her. And you know, my great-grandmother came to this country when my grandmother was 7 years old, and my grandmother got married young, and so did my mother. And so you don't see that today, where you know not only your grandmother, but you know your great grandmother. So I remember my great grandmother following me around with a pasta dish. My great grandmother fed me pasta every day, a different kind of pasta, pastine, pasta and tomato sauce, pasta and clams. You know, that's what she cooked for me as a little girl. And that's all I would eat. And then I would tell my mother, you don't make it like Grandma makes it. I don't want to eat yours. I would only eat for my great-grandmother. And so I was thinking about these women that I descended from, and like how vivid this memory is of my great-grandmother. And of course of my grandmother. But yet there's these memories of my dad that I feel like I'm always reaching for. I'm always trying to remember. I'm always trying to put these pieces of like of memories together, and like, am I really remembering them correctly, or is it just a need to hold on to my dad, in a way that makes me feel good? Because like, what do we really remember? Like when we think about someone, like, I remembered a lot of bullshit, I remembered like a lot of the negative stuff, and I let a lot of good things maybe slip by me, and I'm trying to put those pieces back together. And so then I was telling my son, like, oh, I got this candle, and I wrote on it, I was showing him, like, and I can't believe you met this girl, and look how fast, and like, I'm praying to Poppy and all to help me and all. He's like, Grandpa didn't like those candles. I said, yes, he did. He bought them all the time. He said he would call them devil candles. I'm like, okay, I don't have that memory because you weren't there. So, devil candles. Do you want to believe this? My father went to church all the time. He didn't call them devil candles, but my son swears that he did. Don't get those candles. He would say they're devil candles. Now, why he said that, I don't know. My son can't tell me why either. Oh, my God. Anyway. They were my thoughts this morning. They were my thoughts. And so, what happens? My husband leaves. I'm sitting in my little chair behind me, and I'm looking at the pictures of my dad and my great-grandmother and my grandmother. And, Foofy came over and looked at me like, why are you crying? And I actually asked myself that question, and I answered myself, well, I'm crying because they're missed. And I got myself together. I had just gotten done my coffee, and I said, let me get my journal and start writing. And I went to go sit in my chair, and this is what was on the seat, because that was where John was sitting. There was a quarter, and that's my sign from my dad. Every time I talk to my dad or I think of my dad, I find a quarter. And I just stood there, I had just walked over a few feet to my chair, and I see this quarter sitting on the seat. And I'm thinking, okay, Dad, thank you for listening to me this morning. You heard me. That's my sign from my dad. The signs are everywhere, my friends. The signs are everywhere. We need to pay attention. We need to pay attention. Spring is on the way. And if you remember, if you follow me, and we were talking about winter being on the way, and winter being shorter days and longer nights and more time indoors and more time to get things done. We were running around with our hair on fire, and during the summer months, outside all the time with picnicking and barbecuing and parties and beach days and summer vacations. And like, now it's time to plant the seeds that are going to bloom in the spring. And it's on its way. It's coming. Spring is coming, and all the planning you did during the fall is almost ready to come into bloom. It's almost ready. And it made me think, what are you coming into spring with? What do you want to come into spring with? not without, with. And that, you know, when I looked at my clock this morning, when I wrote that down in my book, what do I want to come into spring with? Not without. It was 8:26 in the morning. Again, my birthday. I see my birthday a lot, 8:26, and I just take that as like another sign. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. Maybe you believe, maybe you don't, but we can't, and this is something that I'm learning, we can't speak the things that we want to manifest in the negative. We have to speak in the positive, because that's how the universe works. If you're saying why, you can't say, I don't want to come into spring with this extra weight on. That's a big one. But the universe doesn't understand. It doesn't respond. It does understand it, and it doesn't respond to things in the negative. So what it will do, it will take the word not out. I don't want to come into the spring with this weight on. It'll take the word don't out. That's the negative. And it'll change it to I want to come into the spring with this weight on. Oh, yes, my loves. That's how it works. The universe is listening, and it hears and it sees, but it doesn't respond to don't and not. And, you know, and I have to catch myself too, because my husband is a good reminder of this. He'll say to me, don't tell me what you don't want. Because he'll say to me, like, where do you want to eat? And I'll be like, well, I don't want Italian, and I don't want Chinese. And he's like, don't tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you do want. And I'll be like, well, I'm trying to figure it out, what I don't want, by delimiting some of the things that I don't want. And he walks away. He's like, I'll pick the place. And so did I get what I want? No. I got what, because I'm too busy saying what I don't want. So that's a little tip for your manifestation. Don't speak in the negative, because the universe does not understand the negative. It cancels out the negative. It takes out the don't and the not in your statement and what you're trying to claim, into what you're trying to declare. And then you say, well, I don't understand why I do these affirmations and I'm not getting what I want. So we have to change that up. And you have to say, I will come into the spring with this weight off. That's what you say. You change it to a positive. I will come into the spring feeling vibrant and healthy and energetic. Another thing, the universe doesn't understand is lose. I want to lose weight. The universe doesn't understand loss. It's not going to give you loss. It doesn't want you to lose anything. It wants you to speak in a way that it understands, because it's almost like talking to a child, So you have to watch. You got to pay attention. That's a big message that I got today. Pay attention. Pay attention. I want to come into the spring as vibrant and colorful and new and fresh as the flowers that are blooming. Energetic, smelling sweet, reaching for the sun, putting my face up into the sun. And until that sun gets here, you have your own sun. You have your own sun. You just take time and you place your hands right like a little bit above your belly button. That's your solar plexus. That's your sun. You have an internal sun. You know, a lot of times we put our hands on our belly, like right in that spot. And that's where the butterflies come from, right? Oh, I got butterflies in my stomach. They're flying around that sun. That solar plexus knows. It knows. It knows when something feels good. It knows when something feels bad. It knows. So you just reach for your own internal sun. And so like that's another little hint I can give you about manifestation. Don't speak in the negative. Speak in the positive. Because the universe is going to negate those words like lose, don't, not. And you claim it. You claim it in the positive. When you declare something, you're putting into action. That's what I love about writing. When I write, I'm putting into action what I'm thinking, my words. I'm putting it into action. I'm writing it down. There's energy between the mind and the heart and the hand. The 3 H's, I call it. The mind, the heart, and the hand. And if you want to proclaim something and you don't know, you just don't know. You always know. I don't believe don't know. Stop pretending you don't know. You know. You know. You know a red flag and you try and convince yourself that it's not a red flag. You know when something don't feel right, but you want to give the person another chance. You know. Stop pretending you don't know. You know. You know, my loves. But there's two very, very, very powerful words. 2 powerful words. I am. I am. And sometimes that's all you have to say until you find the courage to say, I am leaving. I am not doing this anymore. Okay? Now I just used the word not. And so the universe would say, I am doing this. So I am leaving. I am changing. I am becoming. Fill in the blank. So if you want to, wait, and you wait until you have the courage to say the full sentence. Oh, I did all the ones. You just can say, I am. I am is very, very, very powerful. And I found some more ones over here. I am happy. I am smart. I am eager. I love I am eager. I am eager to get this done. I am eager to go to the show. I am eager to spend time with this person. I love the word eager. My husband taught me that one. Eager. I love that word. What words do you like? And I would like for you, if you're getting this message, if this is something that you like, then write down some of the things that you want to come into spring with. What are some of the things that you want to come into spring? Write it out. Write it out. Write it in the comments. Write it out in all caps. Shout it to the universe. Scream it out. I had a shirt on yesterday that I really like. It said, do what makes you happy. I'm screaming it out. I'm wearing it. I write it. I wear it. I proclaim it. I claim it. I declare it. I am for spring. I am eager to bloom with all things that are fresh and new as the spring. That's what I'm coming into spring with. That's what I'm coming into spring with. New eyes, new ears, because let me tell you, that was another message that I got today. You know, I am very good at using my time to do the things that make me happy. That's why I love that shirt. But I'm still refining that. You know, there have been a few instances, you know, since I've been sick, that I didn't have to feel obligated to do something, or didn't have to explain why I don't want to do something. And I really don't explain. When someone asks me something, and like I've learned that no is a complete sentence, and people tell me why, I just kind of stare at them. I don't need to give you an explanation. I don't need to explain to you why I don't want to do something so that you can like now argue the point with me like you're F. Lee Bailey, you know, and we're like in a court of law, you know, and try and change my mind. So I don't explain. No, because that's it. I just stare at you. And then people get it. Like, oh, she doesn't want to talk about it. No, I don't. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But you're not getting it that I don't owe you an explanation about why I am going to spend my minutes, the way that I want to. Not the way you want me to. They're not your minutes, they're mine. And I don't know how many I got, which is why I have hourglasses all throughout my house. If you've ever seen glimpses of my home, you see that I have hourglasses everywhere. And that's my reminder. Some people tattoo their skin. My reminder is the hourglasses that I have everywhere in my home. That, you know, and a lot of times I walk through my house and I turn them over. And I know how many minutes are in each one of them. And I say to myself, what am I going to do with this 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour? So, yeah. But I am, like the other message that I got today, is like paying close attention. I love those two words. I am paying close attention to the world around me. Not the media world, the world around me, the world that I am creating. You know, John said, how about if I come home and I, you know, put some love songs together and you could tape them and you could use them on your channel if you want to, or it can just be for you. You don't have to share it. Like, let's create the Valentine's Day. Like, let's like not go out and like look for romance. Let's create it in our home. And that's what we did. He came home with a bottle of wine. We weren't even concerned what we were eating. And I was, you know, cleaning up my desk like I do every night from diamond painting. And he got dressed. He took a shower and he got dressed. And he's like, come upstairs in the studio. And we were, you know, he's got two microphones. And so he was playing the guitar and I was trying to get to one of the microphones, but he wouldn't let me. He's like, no, it's not set up like that. It's not set up for you to sing. I'm like, well, I want to sing. I want to sing too. And he's like, well, I don't have it set up for that. But he was having a ball and I was having a ball because I was singing in the background anyway. And I was just dancing. I had a glass of wine and we just had so much fun. And, you know, just creating this world that we want to live in. Like, he's musical and I like having fun, and I don't have to go out to listen to music. My husband will play. I mean, I like going out to listen to music. Of course, we have a lot of friends that are in bands and stuff and we like to go see. But that was a hard night last night. So I am just paying attention more to the world around me because I feel like since I've been sick that I have just, and then this whole thing with the doctor's office, that I've just been like down here. Like I'm not vibrating higher. My mind has not been able to concentrate on things, and you know, I'm hoping that I've turned a corner uh, where I'm putting into action even when I don't feel it. Oh, trust me, I haven't been feeling it. I have not been feeling it. And it was scaring me for a little bit, where, you know, I'm reading spiritual things, I'm listening to spiritual things, and I'm just kind of like staring off into space and like, but, I think I came to realize that that's okay. That's okay. All right. I didn't feel the spirit moving through me, but it was getting in. I was absorbing it. And that's important. It's important. It's important, um, to stop with all the distractions that we engage in, because even though it wasn't getting in and I was just like staring off into space and I just felt like I needed to do something. And this is what I wanted to do because I wanted to get a result of feeling lifted, feeling higher, feeling like I was vibrating at the level that I'm comfortable in, that I'm used to, and I'm like, I'm down here, and like now I'm sniffling, and I got this tooth going on, and like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm going through a season, I'm going through a moment. I gotta just be patient. I gotta pay attention. I gotta realize that the work sometimes, when you want to click off, it's like, oh God, it's just so hard today. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sit here and breathe. I don't want to sit here and put my hands on my solar plexus and close my eyes and breathe into this spot and do my affirmations and do the tapping. It's not working for me right now, but it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It has to be. It doesn't know any other way. It's still doing you right now just need to be patient with yourself. Be still. And sometimes it's not easy. It's just not. And it could really, like, like I've said it, this COVID kicked me in the ass. It knocked me down. And it's like, are you going to stay down? It's real easy to, because I don't have the physical energy to pull myself up, and I don't. My husband is here, yes. But he knows that he has to give me a lot of room. He can't hover. If he starts with Elisa, I'm like, I'm worried about your emotional state, and I see that you're not the vibrant, like your eyes are not lit up. Like one day he said to me, oh, I kind of thought that when I went to my last doctor's appointment that I was going to get some movement with this prior authorization. And so I came home and like my eyes were lit up and I felt relieved and happy. And my husband was like, there she is. There's my wife. There she is. Her eyes are lit up. You feeling better? I'm like, I really, really, really am. But then when the movement didn't happen, I found myself getting in this funk all over again and just getting exhausted with the same thing. And at those times, I don't like to say that you're being tested. I don't think that the universe tests us. To test means like, it's almost like saying like you're God, where you get your nourishment for your spirit, the universe, whatever it is like testing you to say, oh, well, I'm going to test you to see how much you believe me. No, that doesn't happen. We're not being tested because that is pure love. Pure love does not test you. Pure love just is. We're sabotaging ourselves, maybe. Maybe that's what we're doing, but we're not being tested. We're distracting ourselves, maybe, Maybe. Maybe we're like, oh, this is just too hard today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit and write. I don't want to sit and do my affirmations. I don't want to sit and listen to a prayer. I don't have a prayer in me. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. We got to turn that around. Because let me tell you, there's one thing that I do believe is when you are in this minutia, it's very easy to lose what you've worked so hard for. And to really, it sounds funny, but like go temporarily insane. You can be running with your hair on fire in the streets because you're becoming reactive, right? You become reactive. So we have to pay attention. We got to pay attention to the signs around us. We got to pay attention to nature. We got to pay attention to the feelings that we get, the butterflies in our stomach. We got to pay attention. We got to pay attention to all of that. And we got to ask. We got to ask for what we want. And you know, I asked for these roadblocks to my health and my energy be removed. You know, get these things out of my way. And I got to do the work too. I got to do the work. I got to stop distracting myself with nonsense. I can't ask for energy, vibrancy, to be blooming with fresh eyes when at night, here's one, I'm going to make you testify now. When at night I'm in bed and I'm scrolling my phone, and I'm up playing games, looking at Instagram. Oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go try that. I'm going to get this recipe. Let me save this here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. My husband's alarm is going off at 4:30. Do you think I'm going to be refreshed, looking with new eyes? And when I come downstairs and I'm half dead because I fed myself a nourishment of exhaustion. This is what I fed myself, exhaustion. Okay? You have to do the work too. You got to do the work. And it's, close your eyes, go to bed. Turn it off. It's nothing but nonsense anyway. It's nothing but nonsense. You got to fill your mind with what with what you're declaring. You can't be in front of the TV and listen to the media. You can't. You can't fill your mind with this stuff and then declare and ask for these things that you've written in the comments below. I want more energy. I'm going to claim more energy for myself. I'm going to claim a creative future. I'm going to claim more abundance. You know, you gotta put it out there. Yeah, I want to claim that I am going to come into this spring with a spiritual healing. I'm going to claim that I'm going to come into this spring calm. I'm going to claim that I'm going to be emotionally balanced. I'm eager to turn it around. I'm ready. I am ready. I am ready. Or just I am. Very powerful. I am. I am asking that you make me become aware, open my eyes to what I'm not seeing. But you got to get your rest. You got to get your rest. You can't feed yourself a diet of exhaustion and think that you're going to get these things. Get these things. We have to pay attention to the words and the images that we place our focus. Okay? Because it's the words and the images that we take in, whether consciously or unconsciously, that control your mind. Pay attention. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it again because I heard this today and it sent me on a tangent in my writing. You have to pay attention to the words and the images that we place our focus on, because it's the words and the images that we take in, consciously or unconsciously, that control your mind. Pay attention. I am always saying, no, thank you. No, I'm not watching that. I drive my husband and my son crazy. My husband will say to me, you think because you close your mind to this that it doesn't happen. No, I know it happens, but I don't need to put it in my mind now. I don't need to have it enter my eyes. Okay? These are my eyes. These are not your eyes. No. I am not watching that. No. I am going to watch something beautiful. I am going to create something beautiful. One thing that I read about Maya Angelou that I loved was she would tell people in her home, no, you do not use that language in my house. You are not leaving those words on my walls. You need to leave. I love that. I am not walking away from you, but I'm walking away because I don't want to listen to that gossip. I don't want to hear these words or this language that you're using. I am not hanging up on you, but I am hanging up. I have said that to people. I'm not hanging up on you, but I'm hanging up. I've had enough of this. I am not listening to this anymore. This is my minute, my life, my eyes, my ears, my soul, my mind, my heart, my body, not yours. I am taking control of all of it. I am not allowing you, and you could be TV shows, cell phones, media images and language. I am not filling myself up with that. No. I'll put on YouTube. I'll put on a really good lecture, something spiritual. I'll put on an audio book. I'll read Mark Nepo. That's what I want going into my eyes. Because, this stuff is all around us. My husband sang a love song. You know what he sang? He sang the theme to the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Love is all around. Love is all around. You're going to make it. It's such beautiful words to that song, to the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the theme song. Just listen to the theme song. You can have it all. You're going to make it. Love is all around. But the media doesn't show you that. They want to show you the horror, the killing, the explosions, the flooding, the turmoil. Oh my God, the world is ending. We're running in the streets with our hair on fire. There's so much more beauty than they want you to know, because they know that if you take the time to sit down and listen to yourself and not them, that you control your mind. See, they want that mind of yours. They want that heart of yours. They want that soul. They want that body. Don't you give it to them. Don't you give it to them. I am not giving you my eyes. I am not giving you my ears. I am walking away. Sometimes the gossip I know is juicy. I know it is. Sometimes you're just like in shock and awe about what you hear. But I can tell you one thing that I do after, and I've said this to people. Wow, I feel bad. I feel bad that this is what's going on in their life, in their marriage, with their kids or whatever, their children. And I've had people say, "What do you feel bad for? I mean, you didn't see this coming. This is what you reap what you sow." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's just so horrible." I'm going to pray for them, even if it's a silent prayer. I mean, sometimes I do drop to my knees. Sometimes I don't get up for days because it's so bad, and somebody really needs to, have some light and love being out to them. And sometimes it's just still while everybody's talking. I might look like I'm listening, but I'm saying a prayer to have their hearts touched and to have their hearts healed for whatever it is that they're going through, or find strength, find courage. It's not easy today. It's not easy, but we don't have to make it any harder. Yeah. So I got a lot of messages today. And it all started with my Jesus candle. And my intention that I wrote on there. You know, I'm paying attention. I am coming into spring paying attention, right? Because what I put in my mind goes right to my heart. My heart is affected, and then my heart is taking care of my emotions, and my emotions are not balanced. They're all over the place. And then when we're emotional, what do? We feed the body. Some of us are emotional eaters. I know that I am. And am I going to nurture my body if my heart and mind aren't right? And then what's my soul going to feel like? It's going to feel like this, like it's being crushed, right? So it's all connected. It's all connected. One decision leads to another. And I'm done vibrating down here. I'm done. I'm getting my strength back. I am getting my strength back. I am nurturing myself with all good things. I am connected to everything around me. I am paying attention. I am walking away from complaining. I am walking away from loud noises. I am walking away from empty noises. I am walking away from gossip. Juicy as it is. No, 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 no. And if it's you, stop yourself. Stop yourself from spreading that around. Pray that you can ask God, put your hand around my mouth. We got to put all this good stuff in. We got to put it in. Got to start from the inside and let it shine on the outside. That's my message today. I think I did a self-care Sunday today. Oh my God. Oh my God. Put all that good stuff in that temple. Don't worry about their temple. Worry about your temple. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. Right? And then they look at you like, what is she doing? She's not listening to anything that doesn't make her feel good, that doesn't make her feel happy. That's what she's doing. And let me tell you, if you have a hard time meditating and you're always seeing the pink elephant in the room, let me tell you, your diamond painting is where you have this time with yourself, this time with your mind, this time with your thoughts, this time to sit, pray, meditate, declare, claim, talk to your candle, talk to Jesus, talk to the universe. Listen to something good. Put on some good music. I have no music on. I guess I had too much to say today. I didn't want to be distracted by my music. Or maybe I had too much music yesterday with John. But we can do this. We have the time. This is our time. Our diamond painting is the perfect foundation for meditation. For, to have this time with our mind and our hearts and our bodies and our souls. We have the time. We have the time for Netflix. We have the time for scrolling. You know what you do. Stop distracting yourself. Pay attention. Breathe. Breathe. Breathe into your gut. Listen to what it's saying to you, because it's never, ever going to try and trick you. It's only going to tell you the truth. It's going to show you clarity. But then you got to take the action. Okay? It's going to show you the red flags. It's going to show you the negative stuff. It's going to show you, hey, you got to get up, Elisa. You got to walk away. You got to start over. This doesn't feel good. Do what feels good. And I'm just talking my little mouth off. I don't know. I don't know. I think that I am going to, I I think I am going to what? Finish my threes. I have to look at the video that me and John shot yesterday. I was talking to Amy last night, one of my subscribers who came over to Elisa Maria Designs. Thank you, Amy, for coming over to Elisa Maria Designs, because I am in need of some love and time on my other social media platforms. Oh, and you know what? I had Dreamer Designs contact me about the work that I did on Lilac, and they wanted to use, you know, I don't even know. I was like in my COVID funk, and I said, yeah, okay. I have to follow up on that and see what that's about. Who knows? Who knows? But thank you, Amy, for coming over to Elisa Maria Designs. And you liked a post that I had on Elisa Maria Designs, and on it was, of course, one of Mark Nepo's writings that I had forgotten about, and it was about Ganesha, that he wrote a poem about, and it's one of my favorites. You know, it's one of my favorites, and it was from another Mark Nepo book, not Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening. I have so many of his. I can't remember them all. And I was like, oh, she liked this little prayer to Ganesha, this little ode to Ganesha, and it just like it all comes together, doesn't it? Because Ganesha clears the way, clears the roadblocks, and that's what I asked for. And maybe it was something subconsciously in my mind, you know, that, you know, made me ask for that today. But I love that poem, and I'm going to take it out for Self-Care Sunday. But thanks for spending some time over at Elisa Maria Designs. It really doesn't get any love, and I don't blame any of you, because, you know, I don't spend any time over there, and I got to give it a little love, and I have to decide what I'm going to do with Instagram, because everybody's jumping ship on Instagram. Everybody's like, oh, Instagram. But I find so many things that I love on Instagram. I find so much creativity and inspiration on Instagram. So I hope that our creators don't all jump ship, but I think that they're, you know, trying to get their businesses, you know, I do understand that when, you know, you're trying to sell your artwork, and the companies that you would like to team up with say something like, well, you really don't have a great following. Like, I think that just sucks. That's just not nice. That's not nice, because, you know, we got to help each other. And maybe those other companies that someone comes to you and says, hey, I would love to team up with you, and they have great designs, and, you know, you kind of look at them and go, well, you know, I'm sorry, you don't really have the following. Maybe you help them get that following. How about that? And then how about maybe the universe says, hey, bless you for doing that. Bless you for helping this artist that's not as well known, or is not, you know, I don't know how people get so many followers. I mean, maybe you are just that fantastic that you have that many followers. But there are, you know, some channels that I look at and I say, you know, how do you get like 10, 15 people to follow you a day? I have people that come and go. And it's not about the followers, because I want people that are here to want to be here. And, you know, I think of you as my little family. I've been calling you guys family for, you know, since I started. So is that a J or a 3? Get yourself one of these when you go to the dollar store. Because I rip this thing out. I whip it out and I look and I'm like, ooh, here's a couple of 3s. I found them. So I'm going to get back to my 2 3s, and I'll do a pan over of Rico here, Rico's Suave, and we'll get together again and we'll chat again. But I'm loving the way that this is coming about. I love these colors. And my next block is a bunch of ABs. Maybe I'll skip that block and I'll do the next block, and I'll save that block for our next whip and chat, because I think that placing ABs can use a little instruction about how to do them, especially if you are with Dreamer Designs and they have a special tool that they include with their kit. They don't just give you one diamond painting pen, they give you two, and the other one is like cone shaped. I didn't want to get up from this chair, but I can edit it out. When you order from Dreamer Designs, they give you a diamond painting pen that looks like this, and it has this cone on the end. And sometimes I put wax in there and sometimes I do not, but if you do, it won't pull out when you pick up an AB. But I still, and even this, their purple wax is excellent. I just push it in really good. So I'll load it and I'll push it in really well so that the AB won't pull it out, but I still like the trick with the water. So I think I'm going to leave that block for you guys because it's a lot of ABs, a lot, because we're coming into his chest and that's all ABs. Okay, guys, I hope you liked today's little message. I wanted to share it with you because it just, it's the first time that I've really felt lifted again and like I'm living back in my energy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Create the world that you want to live in. Keep those eyes and ears on all the good stuff that's out there. There's a lot of it, and you don't have to look far. You don't have to look far. You're not going to find it on the TV. Maybe you will, but you're not going to find it on the news. So, all right, bye, guys. Love you.